that close to the mic.
I got close to the mic to do the intro, and then I
it.
realized I have nothing to say.
Just be smooth. Be like,
Welcome to the Digibros.
is that your... That's creepy. It's not a smooth, it's creepy.
I mean, it's hushed.
You gotta be like,
I don't know.
You'd be like,
I don't know.
hey, baby, ride with me away. We haven't got much time. My blue jeans is tight, so onto my love rocket climb.
I don't have like a
Hold on. Let me get. Inside tank of fuel is not fuel, but love. Above us, there is nothing but the stars above.
Yes.
It's just when you're closer, it picks up like all the bass and nuance. And
I didn't have anything to. I had no ideas of what to say, so it didn't really work.
All I did was quote supersonic electronic. So there you go.
But it was literally nothing going through my brain.
That's amazing.
As per happens
I
often.
don't think
Fuck
that's ever
my
happened
ass.
to me where there was nothing going on in my brain.
I brain fart all the time.
Was it like episode 2 of FLCL where his brain is just empty? There's nothing in his head.
Oh.
You know, originally that was how they were gonna. That was gonna be the whole thing. It's just whenever he gets hit, he has nothing in his head.
See.
And then they came up with the horn and the robot and all that
So
shit.
they came up with like the actual entire plot of the show.
Right. Well, like apparently they had like a whole first draft of the show where he didn't, where he
Wow.
was just empty in the head.
I love it when things get so much better on like a second draft.
Right. That's a very Gynax approach
Definitely.
to redraft everything, because
Like
we
with the
know
Gurren
that
Lagann stuff.
Yeah, Gurren Lagann and Kill La Kill both had. With Gurren Lagann, it was the first episode. Did we ever talk about this on like the show? No, right? But we talked about this together.
You had a video about it, right?
No, I never mentioned the whole like how it came to be on.
Interesting.
I guess I just talked about it with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll talk about it here. The first when they were writing Gurren Lagann and Kill La Kill were written by the same guy and directed by the same guy, right? And when he wrote the first episode of Gurren Lagann, they spent like a really long time on like the development of Gurren Lagann.
Yeah.
Like they spent way more time like coming up with it and perfecting the idea before they made it, and then when they made it, it was just like really fast. But the guy had written the first episode, and apparently the director Hiroyuki Imaishi tore it up, yelling, "This does not make me want to pilot robots." Like he needed it to be hot-blooded and passionate enough that it would make him want to
to pilot a robot.
Right. And then later on, when that guy started writing Kill La Kill, he wrote 4 entire episodes.
Oh my god.
And Imaishi
That
tore
poor
them all up
bastard.
and screamed, "This doesn't make me want to put on a schoolgirl suit and
That's
fight bad guys."
what I need to start doing with people. They give me their scripts.
You really
for stuff
should.
They wrote.
You need to just
I need to
rip
be
them
very
apart.
harsh with it.
But at the same time, this guy is like a well-established author, so like
yeah.
it was not some greenhorn writing his first script who he
Yeah.
was getting mad at. He got mad at him knowing he would then turn up something better, you know.
There's one
That's
guy
what-
recently. Oh
like,
my god.
I think too many people, when you criticize them, like they're like, "Oh, well, I guess then I suck." It's like, no, I told you that you did a bad job because I want you to now write a good one.
Exactly.
You know, like if I tear apart like a video or something, it's like that's with the full expectation that your next one will be better.
Yeah.
Because you should constantly be making stuff, I
Uh-huh.
assume. It's funny, this is gonna sound somewhat harsh, but like whenever I have like problems on YouTube and stuff where it's like my videos get taken down and stuff
Yeah.
like that, people say stuff like, "Man, I really wanted to get into reviews, but stuff like this is discouraging me." And I'm like I get where you're coming from. Like, yeah, if I knew about all this before getting into YouTube, it would definitely be like, maybe YouTube's not the way to go. But it would never have discouraged me from making reviews because I've been doing it forever. It's just what I like to do. So I'm like,
if you can be discouraged, you're probably not doing the right thing.
Right, exactly. Like there's if it's something that you're gonna care about, then nothing should be able to discourage you. You should just be doing it because you want to.
Because you fucking need to. It's in your blood.
It's in
your
my code. It's in my code.
That's how I finally become with film, where I'm just like, I've accepted that it's like I have to do it. Like it's all I can do.
How you liking that constantly switching?
It's alright. It's a little time consuming, but it doesn't bother me.
But yeah, that's the thing.
horribly.
Like when it happened, when I played this stage, like I said before, like it's such a calming environment.
I really like the water temple. The last couple times I played it, I mean, it was on the 3DS, so I didn't want to judge too hard, but I really enjoyed it. And I think I watched my cousin play this, and she's not great at Zelda. She struggles with a lot of the puzzles, and she got through it, you know, faster than we got through the fucking fire temple.
Right.
And the
well,
grass
I don't know
temple.
about that. We took about an hour.
No, I mean when I played it with our cousin Abby.
I know, but did she really get through it in less than an hour? This temple took me 3 hours last time I played it.
I don't know. We got through it relatively hassle free. If we did, I recall us getting through it.
Did you ever did you have a guide to consult, or were you just purely?
I was
coaching her?
I was trying to coach her and also remembering it for myself.
How did she feel about Ocarina of Time?
She enjoyed it a lot. She's a big Zelda fan. I think her first Zelda was Twilight Princess, which I don't think she ever beat.
Man,
because
it's
she's
intense to hear the phrase
now.
A big Zelda fan, and then they've never played Ocarina of Time. It's like, man, how old are we?
Exactly. Oh
how old are we if there could be big Shade's friend, Alan.
Yeah.
Claims to be a big Zelda fan, and I'm pretty sure all he's played is Skyward Sword, and not to completion. He's never even beaten it.
So weird.
I'm like, you're not I'm like, okay, how about you're just a big fan of Skyward Sword?
Yeah.
Not Zelda. You haven't even played more than one.
Oh shit! Am I locked out of that room now? Or is that the one I came in through?
I have no idea.
Oh no! I didn't raise the water level. I was gonna go back and do it.
Why did you leave?
Because I was checking out the outside to see if I needed to change the water level.
Where is this?
I don't know.
You're just exploring.
This level's fun. I mean, but the way to get through this level is to make sure you explore absolutely everything.
I mean, that's I get that this dungeon's frustrating, and the Iron Boots thing is definitely a pain.
It's
but
not that big of a deal.
It is if you're trying to just get through the game.
Yeah.
You know, if you're I just want to play the fucking game. But for me, where it's more of just I'm laid back.
Yeah.
I'm in the mood to play Zelda. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I'm playing Zelda.
Yeah, I love being in
God's
the game.
in his heaven. All is right with the
what.
world. And it's not.
And it's not fucking flaming or
right.
icy
It's not
bats
stressful
coming at me.
like the fucking other.
The fire
shit.
temple is much more stressful.
They definitely created an environment that's meant to be more of a puzzle than an action game. Whereas the fucking fire temple was all Indiana Jones crazy action. You know.
Fucking just.
I mean,
flaming
even,
walls everywhere.
The music
and shit.
here is
The fire temple is very frustrating.
Yeah. All in all, I like the water temple.
Yeah, it's alright.
It's okay with me. But it is
But
hard as shit. So yeah.
I gotta get this open.
Man, what were we talking about before?
I was talking about playing
you
Zelda
said
with
Abby
Abby.
played, but what was it before?
I don't know.
I lost the subject matter.
I don't know.
Anyways, there was something else I wanted to talk about. Right.
There we go.
Well, you won't really have anything to contribute to this, but I was playing Chrono Trigger.
Yeah.
And,
I've played the first 20 minutes of
Oh,
the
really?
game.
You have?
Yeah, a lot of times. I've never gotten out of the first town because I just lose interest.
The funny thing is, because I played 3 hours of Chrono Trigger way back in 2005.
I think I remember the first battle I didn't like the battle system, and I was just
Right.
I'm not gonna enjoy this. I don't like the battle system. What's the point?
The battle system is actually it's all right. I mean, the game is easy as shit, so that really makes it much more playable. I'll get to that more in a second, but the game it starts off with in such a way that it gives you a lot of freedom to just do whatever the fuck you want, because it tells you go to the fair, and then you leave the house and you can go anywhere in the country. So I spent, before I even went into the teleporter that starts the plot, I spent an hour and a half dicking around.
Wow.
A straight hour and a half, just exploring the countryside for a little while, and then going to the Millennial Fair and playing all kinds of games. There's because basically you earn there's a robot that you can fight, and a few games you can play that earn you silver fair points.
Oh,
and then you go into
fuck?
You go into this building, and if you pay a certain amount of points, then you can fight these little challenges, and then you win stuff for your house, right? So I did a bunch of that. I got a bunch of points, played a bunch of those games, got some shit for my house, and then I found out because the last game that I was trying to beat like was super hard, and I had to save scum to fucking beat it. But I was looking at a guide to see if it would like give me hints on how to win the game, and it was like, oh yeah, everything you do at this fair, every like mundane ass thing you do affects the greater narrative. Like you'll get different dialogue later. I was like, motherfucker.
I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. And I had done like a couple things wrong, and I was like, God damn it, I fucked up already. But you know, I didn't like change anything because I like when I play a game that has multiple like paths.
Yeah.
Unlike most people who are like, oh, I gotta play every path. I'm like, I'm gonna play exactly whatever I get.
Yeah.
It's gonna be what it's gonna be. I made the decisions at the time. I got the ending I got, and that's it. You know.
I'm supposed to raise the water level at this part. I'm not sure.
I feel like that's probably
it's
the
gonna
case.
be a pain in the ass to get back up here though.
I just hope you're like memorizing your way around, because
Yeah.
that's the most important
Thinking
thing.
about it.
That's what I did not do.
Like
I would just not remember how to get back to where I've been and be like lost.
because I don't have any keys right now, so it's like, ooh, am I gonna be able to go anywhere I couldn't go before?
Anyways,
That's the entrance.
the first hour and a half was very adventurous, and then after that it sort of becomes more linear.
Yeah.
And I realized that Chrono Trigger has more in common, and this is gonna sound like a diss because I've talked shit about these games.
Yeah.
And I don't really intend for it to be, but it's a lot more like The Last of Us than it is like other RPGs. It's like a spectacle game, where like Uncharted would be a good comparison. Because the game's not really about the battles.
Yeah.
It's more about like presenting like a huge variety of things.
Yeah.
Where there's like, as you play through, like let's say you go into a dungeon, it'll be like this cathedral place, right? And then like you'll be walking around and you'll get to like a staircase, and suddenly the staircase will turn into a slope and you slide down the slope, and it's like, whoa, that was weird and exciting. There's lots of stuff like that, just little weird things. Like there's one part where you have to take a motorcycle to get from one city to the next, and you like race this other guy, and it just suddenly turns into a full-on 3D racing game. Like it looks like Mario Kart or something, but like side-scrolling. It's weird.
The fuck?
But like the whole game transforms into this Mario Kart thing.
Yeah.
Out of nowhere. And like that really has nothing to do with the combat or anything, which is like the central mechanic, but at the same time the combat is not very deep. You know, it's just like it's got a lot of the RPG trappings. It's got magic and different shit, and you probably have to get that from somewhere else.
Yeah.
But you know, it's got like a diverse stuff. It's got a lot of the RPG stuff, but it's also really easy. The bosses make you think a little bit. Like they usually have some kind of gimmick that makes it so they can completely rock your shit. Like I have died against a couple of bosses, but like once I figure out what I'm supposed to be doing, it's not a problem. You know, you can level without grinding. I've never had to like grind to beat a boss or anything like that. It's like the game is all about like continuing at this very strong pace where it gives you just enough freedom to feel like it's not railroading you, but it's still guiding you down like a set course, you know. There's like just enough secret shit and fun little things that you can discover, but which is what I think a lot of those modern games don't do as well. Like stuff like Uncharted is, at least with like Uncharted 3, like the first game did have a lot of stuff that you could just run around and go grab, you know, but not to nearly the extent that Chrono Trigger does. It's got a lot more openness to it. But like that's really what I think it is. It's like the battle system is really just there to facilitate this narrative, this game that's about all these different little things that are all interesting and unique, more so than it is about the core mechanics. It's not really about RPG battles. It's about the narrative and keeping you entertained. And it's funny to me that like that game is considered such like an absolute classic.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that game is considered a classic more by the kind of people who would consider The Last of Us a classic than by the kind of people who would consider some other shit. Like, because a lot of the people who have a problem with games like The Last of Us are action game fans who often don't like RPGs, especially old RPGs, because old RPGs almost always have like a turn-based battle system that's like, you know, kind of boring to play. You know, the only RPGs I see getting like a lot of respect among those kind of critics are like the Persona games, where there is a lot of mechanical depth. There's a
Yeah.
lot that you need to learn, you know, and even though it's like two different games in one, you never get that sense with something like Persona that like it's just totally shit completely unrelated to the game is happening. You know,
Yeah.
like suddenly I am in a race car game. You know, and Chrono Trigger is like always like that. Everything is like this unique new thing. Although as it's gone along, it kind of petered out in that regard a little bit. It's gotten to the point where it's like I've done a lot of subsequent dungeons. But it's also a game where there's no random encounters. Like, enemies jump out at you.
I'm starting to drift out of this conversation.
All right, I'm sorry. I realize.
Yeah, I didn't want to cut you off, but obviously,
I'm
like,
done.
I don't know anything about Chrono Trigger, so I don't really know
That
what you're
was the whole point I wanted to make.
The Last of Us comparison was losing me.
Yeah, that was all the point I wanted to make. I thought about doing a video about it, but I doubt it'll actually happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't intend to rant for that long.
But it happened.
Do you have another subject to discuss?
I'm really trying to
gain your bearings in this
figure out
water temple.
Yeah. I shouldn't have raised the water level up. I knew that was gonna happen.
Oh man, are we already getting to that point where
I've been through the first run of all the rooms, and so now it's like, okay, what did I miss?
Alright, hold on. Let me click this.
I gotta figure out how to
Skype
raise the
thing.
water
I'm gonna,
back
mark
down.
myself as do not disturb so that people will stop messaging me. You guys talking about a black metal
That guy looks
Opeth?
weird as shit. Okay.
That guy's cool. I have no idea what to talk about. And that guy's messaging. I'm just gonna quit Skype. That'll do it. I don't know why I have it open when we're playing anyways. There we go.
Right, I have to take the boots off. No!
And then you just instantly die. Just drown immediately.
I like the blue tunic. This is what I usually wear the rest of the game.
Yeah. That's also how Danny Sexbang felt about Zelda 1. And the funny thing about that was that like the tunics are just strength increases.
Yeah.
And so you
I mean, it's the same in Twilight Princess when you get the Zora tunic, and it's so cool looking that you're just like, yeah, Zora tunic.
But then do you get another one that's like stronger and you have to get rid of it?
No, because the last one is the magic armor, and it saps your rupees to make you stronger. So it's like if you have a ton of money, you'll wear it for the last level. But
Because like in Zelda 1, it's like after you get the blue one, and then later you get the red one, and it's like just absolutely stronger. It was like sometimes I would just play with the blue one just because I wanted it to be blue. You know.
I gotta say, I've always been disappointed in Super Smash Bros. That they don't incorporate like Link's different tunic changes from like Twilight Princess, where it's like those are really cool costumes that they can put in the games. No, I mean they have the different colored tunics, but I mean like it'd be cool if they gave them like the Zora armor, the magic armor, where it's like these specific costumes. Because they did that in the newest game with some of the stuff.
Project M, like the first thing they do is like, here's every version of the character that's ever existed, you know.
That's always fun.
That's the kind of shit like I think, and I'm sure that like Nintendo's paying a little bit more attention now. But when something like Project M comes out and everyone loves it, that's a good indication of like this is literally what everyone wants.
Yes.
Like here's everything.
I think they definitely paid attention to that to an extent.
Like Project M is just they took the game and they said, here's everything that everyone who likes this game wishes was in this game.
Yeah.
You can now use this as practically a handbook.
Yes.
You know, like, oh, everyone wants a million costumes and to balance out the fighting. All right, let's do that. You know, like, that's all it is. It's a hugely popular mod just on the basis that it does two things everyone really wanted. You know. Ugh.
That's why they're gonna have DLC characters coming soon, like Mewtwo.
Oh yeah, is that
get
not
all
a thing yet?
It's
When the fuck?
it's supposed to happen in like the spring sometime.
I see.
Ooh, which I'm sure the community's greatly looking forward to. Yeah. Ooh.
The Smash 4 community, at least.
Yes. I'm certainly looking forward to if they ever put out Roy. That
man, that would
my
change
fucking day,
everything.
Man. That would be.
Do you
beautiful.
think you'd try to go competition tier if they released Roy in
Fuck
Smash
yeah.
4? But what if he's just not the same because the
That would
game's so much slower?
depress the hell out of me. But I think it'll just Just having Roy will at least be fun enough for me. This is the way to the top part. Right?
Roy's our boy. Roy G. Biv.
Oh, fuck my ass.
Just instantly
Instant
done.
death.
Oh man, if only I had made a drinking game for the Sonic series, Roy G. Biv would definitely have been one that you had to drink for. You always sound so crushed whenever I do it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful morning. Alright, let's go ahead and end this episode of Digibros and try to come up with something to talk about before we start the next one, okay? That's it. The end.